Hey there, how you doing? Please excuse the messy me. Definitely messy, definitely pooey. It's that once those sorts of days today. But I had something to say and I just wanted to pop in and quickly say it because as I'm getting older, if I think it, I have to say it pretty quickly or I'll forget it. I was prompted to deal with the fear of starting when I was watching a wonderful older video by a channel called The Unexpected Gypsy. The woman on there, Wendy, was talking about showing up, and especially in times of chaos when the world is all over the place and things are really difficult right now, as they are for many people. And she was definitely right. You know, if you're going to get anywhere, you have to show up. But it got me thinking about the number of people that I have spoken to over the years, heard from over the years, who have always told me about how they really want to write a book. And it's not just older people, it's younger people, it's all sorts of people. They've had an idea, they really think there's something, that they really want to do. And there's all these things that they want to say, but for whatever reason, they haven't done it yet. And that made me wonder because, writing a book's not rocket science. It's not quantum physics. It's not politics or any of those other things that goes right over my head and I know absolutely nothing about them. Writing is simply a means of channeling your thoughts, your ideas, a part of yourself onto a page. So what would be holding you back? And I think there are all these little aside things, some people talk about they haven't got time for it. I've got videos about that here. Some people say they've got too many ideas and it basically freezes them. I've got videos about that there. There's a whole stack of excuses that people can come up with for not writing. And I'm not saying that those situations aren't a part of that person's life because we're all unique, we're all different. But basically, the single biggest reason I think for why people don't write those stories that are just begging to be told is because of fear. And fear is it's a very insidious thing. It's very valid. I mean, fear basically protects us from doing things that we shouldn't do. I mean, you don't walk down a dark alley because you fear what might be there, the fear of the things you don't see. And that's a very simple thing, sensible thing to do. We should protect ourselves, and fear does that. But unfortunately, the other issue with fear is that it holds you back. It stops you trying. It stops you doing those things that you've perhaps dreamed of since you were little. It's a real nuisance to try and get rid of as well. There are a number of different fears. There's the fear of not being good enough, the fear of not getting it right, the fear of being laughed at. I know that was always one of my big things, but look at me now. I had my 62nd birthday the other day and I am rocking the mess and I really don't care. It's one of the great things about being older. And excuse me, because I've written a lot of this down, otherwise I'd forget. But we have a fear of people looking at us funny. But there's a quick tip about that because if you're writing and you happen to mention it to somebody else that you're writing a book, they're not going to look at you funny. They're either going to ask if they're in it, either worried or not, depending on how close you are to that person. Or they're the type of person who goes, oh, yes, well, I thought about writing a book. And then they'll wow on about themselves again, because so many people are so totally invested in themselves. So, I mean, that fear of telling people, well, that's a by the by, because you can't tell people till you start writing. I wanted to show you something, and I'm not sure if I can. I'm not sure if this will come out right. Let me see. Oh, look, there it is. I did it. Yep. Okay. I have another book out. Can you see? It should be on your screen. Isn't it pretty? I really like that one. That came out yesterday. It's my 106th book, I think it is. I think it's 106. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's about that. I spent the whole of this morning with my stomach in knots, messaging my daughter, going, because she does all my PA and everything, and saying, have you heard anything about the book? Have you heard? Has anybody said anything? And there's been no feedback. And it's like, oh my God, what if they don't like it? And it's worse because at the moment, for some reason, for the last 3 weeks, I have not been getting Facebook notifications. And thank you to the huge number of people who suggested to me to just go in and fix my Facebook settings. Believe me, I have been in there like 3 times and redone them all. It's not making any difference. I'm not getting any notifications for Facebook Messenger or anything else like that on my computer or in my email, which is really annoying. And I don't like having the app on my devices because I run 2 devices at the same time. So I'd be hearing bing, 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 bing all day, and it would drive me nuts. But anyway, I don't know if they like it. I'm worried, sick about it. It's my 106th book. You think I might have got over it by now, but I didn't, and I haven't. Because it doesn't go away. They might not like it. Those wonderful readers that I have might look at this one and think, oh my God, she's lost the plot. And that's a very real thing. But it doesn't matter if it's your first book, your 10th book, or your 100th book. Every time you put a piece of yourself out there, out for public viewing, you run the risk of somebody coming back and saying, God, that's just a load of garbage. And that hurts us. We know that's going to hurt us. You know, just thinking about it, it would hurt you. It hurts me. And because it hurts us, our fear of that stops us putting ourselves out there in the first place, because it doesn't want to, our fears don't want us to be hurt. But it also means that we don't follow our dreams. It took me until I was 52 years old to write my first fiction novel. I've been wanting to write since I was 4. But I was 52 and I was facing an empty nest, a crumbling marriage. My father had recently died. And that's when I sat down and wrote my first book. I wrote it for me. It was pure fiction. Wolf shifters, fated mates, a form of escapism, if you like. That's what I was aiming for. I wrote the whole thing from start to finish in 3 weeks. And then I started the next one. As soon as that one was finished, I started the next one. I'm sorry about that truck. By the time I finally self-published my first book, and you've got to remember 10 years ago, that wasn't as common as it is now. So it took me December, January, February. It took me 3 months. And by the time I did self-publish my first book, I was already writing book 3 of that same series. And I'm still doing that. I'm currently got 3 work in progresses on the go, because I'd actually have this dream of getting all my books written between now and Christmas and then having a holiday, which is a huge laugh, as anybody would know who knows me, because I just keep writing. Those fears are still there. But so is the fact that every single book I have written has been written on the premise that it was a book I wanted to read. No one else, just me. Now, don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. I adore my readers. I love my readers. I have had some readers who have been with me since day one. They are an enormously amazing, unique blend of individuals who make my day happy every day with messages they leave and comments they make and their sheer support in buying my books. I mean, that can't be underrated. And I truly adore my readers in every level. They have the ability, if I ever have a bad day, all I have to do is to go onto my group on Facebook, and there's something in there that will make me smile something that one of my readers has posted. That is a truly amazing thing. And that is one of the huge gifts I hadn't anticipated when I was being governed by fear. But in the end, as much as I write my stories hoping I will make my readers smile, because I do think there's too much doom and gloom and everything going on in this world. So I write happy love stories with a guaranteed HEA. Ultimately, I still write for me. I still write the books that I want to read. And that is honestly the first step for you in getting past your fears. Don't think about putting the book out there. Don't think about a possible audience. Don't think of anything at all except creating your own form of escapism on a written page, whether it be in a little pad in a journal, or whether it be online, or whether it be like on a Google Doc or a Mac pages, or whatever it is you use. It can be a text file, it doesn't matter. But look at it as your form of escapism, you putting down a genuine part of yourself and exploring your muse. And the really neat thing about our muse is that the more we feed it, the more we give it rein in our lives, the more it keeps returning. It's like this never-ending well of ideas. People say to me, oh, where do you get your ideas from? They're all there inside. But your creative muse has to have a chance to breathe. It has to have a chance to come out. And it can only do that if you tap into it and write. Actually write those words that you've locked inside and you've let life and society and expectations and everything else stop you from doing it. Just write it. Even if you never publish it, don't worry about it. For now, just write it. And I've lost my place. I knew that would happen. I wrote out a whole script thing because my mind has been going quite funny lately, but I lost it. Oh, that's right. There was one more point. See, it's written there. I want you to write it in your diary. When you start writing, I want you to write it in your diary. And I want you to do this today. I want you to write in your diary or your journal or just somewhere on a post-it note. Today I showed up and started writing. Happy dance time. Write those words and stick them somewhere that's special to you, because this is special for you. Fear may hold you back. And I'm sure as an emotion, it's a very valid one. But when you take that step to move past fear, as I say, fears come along with me all the time. But now I walk alongside it, or better yet, I try and step just a little bit in front of it, so I can still do what I need to do and what I dream of doing. And I don't let fear hold me back. I'm truly hoping that you don't either. I do want to make a special thank you to Wendy, the Unexpected Gypsy. That's her channel here on YouTube. We're not likely to ever meet. She's never heard of me. But what she doesn't realize is that her videos for about the last 2 weeks, her videos have been my company. They've been like my background company while I've been writing in the afternoons, because I truly enjoy her eclectic look on life and her abundance of spirit that she so happily shares with everybody else. I think that's wicked cool. So thank you for being authentically you, Wendy. And as for the rest of you, why are you still here? You're meant to be writing your book. You need to start today. You open up your document, you type chapter 1, and just dive in. Do it. You will be so amazed at how good that feels. Trust me on that and give it a try. If you did like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. And if you're interested in learning more about me and my work, then I've got a whole stack of links below, but who cares about that? Just hug the ones you love, my friends. And today, show up. Now I've got to work out how to turn this video off. I tell you, my mind is definitely going. Have an awesome day, my friends. Until the next one. Bye.